By now we have become used to the Israel regime annexing Palestinian territory, building settlements and imprisoning or killing innocent civilians. But what currently is happening goes beyond all imagination. What we are seeing is a regime that blatantly continues its provocative march to the result of an excessive apartheid regime that breaks about every international treaty. Year after year we have witnessed an ever-growing annexation through violence and outright violation of human rights. But despite all the outspoken images and videos, the media keeps talking about a conflict and both sides, and still don't dare to name what Israel is doing. But why the sudden uprising and violence? Well, Israel is currently punishing the entire Palestinian population because of the protest in Sheikh Jarrah, where they evicted more than 25 families from their own homes cruelly and with disproportionate force. They did this by storming one of the most holy places for Muslims, the Al-Aqsa Mosque at the tip of the Ramadan, bombing neutral media and news buildings for the sake of counterterrorism, and dropping rockets on civilian targets. And the Israeli regime doesn't need to fear the international community nor the Arab countries, since they have already demonstrated their lack of consistency when it comes to human rights issues. This is because the violence comes from both sides. Just look at Hamas. And of course, Israel may defend itself by recklessly bombing Gaza and in the meantime causing the death of more than 200 people, including 58 children. But hey, they're only targeting Hamas, which apparently consists out of doctors and hospitals. All these events remind me again of Ilan Pappé's book on the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. For the ethnic cleansing of a people has indeed been going on for decades. Through evictions, through settlements, through annexations, through attacks and bombings. The problem is obvious, but for some reason it's too difficult to name it. You have an illegal occupier who commits violence day in and day out. But the international community doesn't recognize this and points the finger at those who are being occupied and colonized. Apparently the definition of conflict from both sides is that the Israeli regime gets ignored when violence is used, and they turn a blind eye when they continue to violate all human rights. A tragedy for Palestinians. A disaster for humanity.